Okay, welcome everyone, and we'll call our meeting to order for the June 9th, 2025 Police and Fire Commission. Roll call. The only member not present tonight is Joe Dean, who's absent and excused. Chairman's comments. Nothing has really happened that I need to report, I believe, in the last 2 months since we took last month off. But the next item on the agenda is election of Police and Fire Commission officers. And we have the opening of chair, vice chair, and secretary. So I'll open the floor for nominations for the first position of chair. Are there any nominations?
Chairman Beaver, I nominate yourself for chair.
Thank you for that. Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Then we'll close nominations and we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. It's my lucky day again. Thank you. Thank you for your confidence. Okay, we'll open nominations then for vice chair. Is there any nomination for vice chair?
No vice chair this year.
Nominate Sarah Burdette.
Second.
Okay, there's a nomination and a second for Sarah for vice chair. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominating. And all those in favor of Sarah as vice chair?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It was a landslide. Okay,
Joe Dean got out this year.
yeah, well,
He just doesn't show up.
I warned him if he didn't show up, he could be in a position. Okay, our last position is that of secretary, and I'll open the nominations for secretary.
Chairman Beaver, I nominate Ed Johnson as secretary.
Okay, there's a nomination for secretary of Ed Johnson. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? We'll close nominations and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. We're good for another year. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda. Okay. Yeah, we got that covered. We'll review our previous minutes. This goes back to April 14th, the minutes of our regular meeting. Also, our special meeting on April 17th. And another special meeting we had on May 22nd. Any questions or concerns in any of those minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, opposed? Okay. Okay, and then tonight we have a very special recognition, and Chief, we'll let you take this over.
All right, well, Officer Kirsten Larson is with us,
Microphone?
along with her daughter. And I guess she's been with us for 25 years. She's worked...
Microphone, please, Chief.
pretty much all three shifts, but mainly on third shift or the late shift. She's filled different roles for the department over the years, including bike patrol officer, honor guard member, school resource officer, and also served as a negotiator on the county special response team. She also has had special training, and I appreciate the work she's done in the past regarding complaints involving children and sexual assault investigations. In 2003, she was a recipient of the department's Award of Merit and also the Meritorious Conduct Award. And so with that, I'd like to thank her for her 25 years of service.
Thank you.
And then we also have gift for her. And then this is, you know what that is? And then also with the watch, they had a free gift for every watch, so you get this as well as a pen light, so.
Oh, all right,
So it's
thank
kinda,
you.
it's kinda cool, and you can kinda keep that all in the box.
Thank you very much.
So.
And
Congratulations, thank you.
Officer Larson, would you like to make any comments?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your service. Okay, we'll see you in another 25 years. Okay. All right, then, moving along, we'll also recognize other individuals in the police and fire department. And with 8 years of service is Officer Becker, Tony Becker. 26 years of service is Chris Erickson. With 6 years of service, Emily Mankey. And 4 years of service, Colin Dunn. And then over at the fire department, we'll recognize Engineer Andrew Borgenhagen with 4 years of service. Chief Joe DeBoer, 21 years of service. Firefighter paramedic McKenna Ferry with 2 years of service. And firefighter Adam Lunzer with 19 years of service. And of course, the PFC thanks them for their dedicated service to our community. Okay, then we can move along to the police department report. And Chief, we'll let you take that.
Well, I guess starting out with the bills, I don't know if anybody has any questions.
So we've got the invoices for the month of April and of May. Are there any questions for the chief or concerns that anyone has on that? No? Okay. Hearing none, then we can move along with the Mid-Moraine Municipal Court Statement for the, this is 3 months, January to March, or through March.
And also April.
Oh, I'm sorry, second page is April, correct. Any questions for the chief on that? Okay. Hearing none, we can move on to calls for service for April and May. Anyone have questions there? No? Okay. And then the incident-based reporting report for those 2 months. Any questions or concerns there? No? Okay, an agreeable group. And then, Chief, as far as your report, what do you have for us this evening?
Well, I guess I'm ready for any feedback, positive, negative, regarding the annual report. Any surprises?
Yeah, it's a very complete report and lots of information. It's amazing how many things can happen in a year's time.
And very well put together.
Thank you.
Very well. Are these available anywhere for the public to view?
Not yet, but they will go, they get to City Hall, and then City Hall puts them on the website.
Okay, very good. Any other questions by the commissioners? Okay, hearing none. Thanks again. It's a wonderful report.
Good report, Chief. Thank you. Very comprehensive.
Thank you. I'd like to also, I guess, Becky really helps me out with the report, putting the statistics together and keeping on top of the officers that are in charge of certain aspects of, investigations and making sure that they get her the information she needs. So, thank you.
We know we can't do without Becky. Thank you, Becky.
And let me just add, I also appreciate seeing all the various trainings that each of the officers took. I find that very informative. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other business you need to address at the police department?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to let the Police and Fire Commission know that we had one officer resign, as I had mentioned at the last meeting, and he is now gone. And so we started the hiring process, and I believe, well, it ends this Thursday, where people can apply. We are looking for either people that we need to send to recruit school, or hopefully we get somebody, a lateral transfer. Saves us a lot of time and money. But so far, we have 7 people that have applied.
Great.
So we're hoping that one of those is a gem.
Okay.
And then we'll have the written testing will be on June 21st at the police department.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And anything else?
That's pretty much all I have.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, let's then move along to the fire department. And Chief DeBoer, let's review and discuss the April and May EMS invoices.
I don't see anything that is super fun or exciting with any sets of the invoices. You will see some software costs, as you guys will recall. We started with a new software vendor last year, and finally those payments are starting to make their way through. Our ambulance billing fees are a percentage of our revenue, so the higher they are, the better we're doing as far as revenue goes. We did catch that we were being overbilled by the billing company, so we should be seeing a credit next month on that, so that'll be beneficial as well. So,
Okay.
but if anybody has any questions on that.
Commissioners, any questions?
You're talking about the you're talking about the image trend software.
That's the software, the new software platform that we're using this year. There was, when we presented this last year, there was some onboarding fees that we had to go through with ImageTrend, which was a one-time fee, and that's why this is significantly higher than what we expect in the future. In fact, we'll actually see a net positive because the drop in our ambulance billing fee for not using their software is better than the cost of the reporting software, if that makes sense. So we'll actually be in the green here once we get over the first year.
Gotcha.
It's just the implementation and rollout of them building everything in the background for us.
Right.
One question similar to that, with the ambulance billing. So those fees show up as a debit on your account, but the actual revenue that goes to general fund, is that the way that works?
Correct.
Okay. Good. Any other questions on that? Okay, hearing none, let's move along then to the fire department invoices for April and May. Chief, anything that jumps out at you there?
Not much, just a lot of, we'll talk about some maintenance issues when we get down to the chief's report, but you'll see the truck maintenance budget is where we get hit every year, and that's kind of what we're seeing again here. So the bottom line there is the computer software again. It's used both on the fire and EMS side of the house, so that cost is split amongst both the fire and the EMS budget, so.
How is it split up? Because it's 6,001 and 2,000 in the.
Yeah, it's predominantly used for the EMS side, so the lion's share goes on the EMS side.
Is that recalculated each year, or is that, based on EMS had twice as many calls.
Yeah,
so
that'll be
therefore
the
they
plan
paid-
going forward. Right now, it's getting it to kind of match the line items, if that makes sense. But going forward, it'll be based on the number of incidents. But we also have to keep in mind that the inspection side of stuff is quite substantial as well. So it's broken down right now into, there's a fire portion, there's an EMS portion, and then there is the implementation fee. The implementation fee was kind of split amongst the line items, but in going forward, the EMS side, which is the lion's share of what the contract cost is, will live in the EMS budget, and then the fire reporting and the inspection software will live in the fire budget.
And will that be recalculated each year, or it's a proportion that's going to stay the same going forward each year?
So maybe I don't understand what you're asking.
Let's say this year you have 100 calls, and 80 of them are EMS and 20 of them are fire. So theoretically, EMS would be billed 80%.
So each part of the software from ImageTrend, regardless of the number of calls, like the EMS portion is X number of dollars. The fire portion is Y number of dollars. So those will go live in the budgets that they correspond to. So it's not necessarily based on the number of calls, if that makes sense.
What's it based on then?
Based on what ImageTrend charges us for that part of the software package.
Okay, so
It's
they,
like a kind of a plug and play thing. It's like a menu. We want the EMS software, so that's how much this costs.
All
We
right,
want
all
the
right.
inspection software, that's how much that costs.
very good, thank you.
Yep. Sorry if that was unclear.
Okay, any other concerns on the?
In May, you'll see our annual hose testing, which is an NFPA requirement. I am happy to report we did not fail out a lot of hose this year, so that's always good from a budgetary standpoint. And then again, you'll see this month a lot of deferred maintenance on vehicles that is slowly catching up to us, so.
Okay, then I think we can move along to the April and May EMS calls for service.
So April down a little bit in number of calls. Our response times stay pretty consistent with where things had been in the past. We did break that out this time for you in calls in the city versus calls outside of the area. You'll see that our response time to calls in the city are just a tick above 6 minutes. And so that's right on track with what I think we should be able to expect and where we want to be.
And thank you for updating that. That's something we asked for
Yeah.
last month.
That's great.
It's really simple to see. Thank you.
April,
And the
go ahead.
previous month number is always going to refer to the all calls.
What would you prefer?
Well, I just want to make sure I understand
Sure.
that it's not relating to city calls only, it's relating to the top line of all calls.
Yeah, we can do it either way, but I think that probably makes sense is to do all calls.
Yeah.
But-
Right, maybe add a paren then, all calls.
Yeah, we'll do.
So that it's completely understandable which
Yep.
we're comparing to.
Yep, absolutely. You'll see one mutual aid request. We've had our unfair share of the injury bug lately from a staffing standpoint. So we've been piecemealing crews together as best we can and had a lot of people step up and pick up some extra shifts to help us out. But you only can cover so much of that. So that being said, in April, we did pretty well. We only had one mutual aid request. And that's because we only had a single paramedic available at the time. So we wanted to make sure that our municipality was protected.
Very good. Okay, then I think we can move along to fire calls for April and May. Any concerns there?
Nothing really sticks out too much in April's report.
Sorry, can I go back for a second?
Absolutely.
To May EMS,
Yes, ma'am.
5:30. All those addresses there?
Yes, absolutely. So I was going to talk about that at the end, but we'll
Oh,
talk
okay.
about it now. No, it's fine. So on the 30th, we were paged out to a car accident that involved a school bus
Oh,
with 29 elementary school children on it.
yeah.
Luckily, we didn't have a lot of injuries, but you can imagine the complexity of reunifying 29 children with their parents on scene. The driver of the car that the bus hit did have some minor injuries, but also refused transport. But with the help of law enforcement and the school district, we were able to set up proper reunification to ensure we went through the correct process to make sure whoever we were turning the children over to were the appropriate adult and custodial parents or approved guardians. And then obviously we had to assess them to ensure that they weren't injured and the parents were okay without them being transported to the hospital or wanted them transported to the hospital. So you'll see a bunch of patients there, but it's largely from the same incident.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, it went really well. We were able to, from the time of page to the time of clearing the scene, I think it was about an hour and 15 minutes, where we were able to reunify 30 kids. It went really well until the kids on the bus started saying they had to go to the bathroom. We didn't have an answer for that, so.
There's some bushes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got snacks for them. We had the radio on. We had a kid at the back of the bus who didn't want to get off the bus because he was having fun on the bus. So I think everything went the right way. And a big shout out to the school district, the principal of Dunwoody and Saukville. All the kids were live in Port, but are Saukville Elementary School students. And they were here to help us as soon as we could actually get a hold of them. We set up a reunification site right there. All the parents were there. It worked really well. And then we did an after action with the school district and the bus company because we did have a couple of lessons learned that we took back and fixed that. So hopefully next time it goes even smoother.
So it sounds like you've got a procedure for this situation, Joe, and like I
It
said,
worked. Yeah.
It worked.
Worked how it was supposed to. Absolutely.
Looks like it. Good job. Okay, any other questions there? No? Okay, then let's look at our April and May calls for fire service. And ever since I received this report, I've just been dying to ask why firefighters burning their dinner became a fire call.
Well, as you know, we have a large number of young males on our department who probably didn't necessarily learn to cook very well. So they happened to set off the smoke alarm in the building. And then there is a mad rush to get downstairs to the panel to deactivate the alarm before it calls out to dispatch. The call to dispatch won. So we had a call in our own building for a smoke alarm, which obviously they were able to manage there. And heck of a response. Yeah, 0 minute helping the averages. Exactly. And they have been properly made fun of for the incident.
And I assume everybody had a good chuckle on that one.
Oh, yeah, us, our neighboring departments.
Your mic there, Joe.
Yeah.
Your mic. Mike.
Yes, us, our neighboring departments, everybody they know has got a good chuckle out of that one.
Good. And any other calls that concern you, or any commissioners have any questions? No? Okay. Hearing none, then let's move on to Chief DeBoer's Fire Chief's report.
Okay, let's remember what I put on there. Okay, first. All right, so last month we conducted an interview process to fill a vacant full-time firefighter EMT position. As you'll recall, we had a little bit of a hard time finding a firefighter paramedic that kind of fit what we were looking for. So we decided that we would target a firefighter EMT who was internal to the department and had interest in going to paramedic school. I am pleased to announce that Nick Kelly has accepted that position and hopefully will be starting next week. We're just tying up some contractual things with staff from City Hall, but he has agreed to all the terms and we have a plan to get him started next week.
Great.
Next on the list, continuing with staffing, we added 2 part-time or paid-on-call employees. Firefighter EMT Jason Borchert had actually left us last year. He got hired full-time on the North Shore Fire Department. As part of that hiring process, they have to resign from any other departments that they are on during their probationary year. Jason successfully completed his probationary year with North Shore, and as soon as he was done, came on back. He lives in town, so it'll be great to have another experienced firefighter to add to our roster. And then we added, sorry, I'm losing my voice, an EMT, Bill Lundgren. Bill is pretty well known to the fire and EMS community. He's been a member of the rescue boat here for probably 20 years. Went and got his EMT certification last year and has been super eager to learn, so we're excited to have him on board. He's in the process of his EMT orientation right now.
Good. Are these replacements for recent resignations, or is this in addition to?
These
staff?
are in addition to, we had a little bit of a backlog of applicants as the city transitioned to new hiring software and payroll stuff. We kind of had to hit pause a little bit on bringing in part-time personnel. So this is the catch up from that. We have a couple of other folks who we've put through an interview process over the last couple of weeks, who we will be doing some like ride-alongs with to make sure they're happy with things and they're a good fit. So hopefully we'll see a couple more names added to the roster.
Great.
This is to, kind of solidify some of that part-time staff, especially as we're, changing the number of hours they can work. We needed to add some personnel to our roster to ensure that we had the coverage that we expect.
Great.
Next, so the ordinance that we discussed at our last meeting, amending the frequency of fire inspections required by municipal code, successfully passed the council last week. So that should be that will take effect immediately, correct? The ordinance will be pretty quick. So yep, so we should be good to go from that standpoint. We're in the process of building out the inspection software. Deputy Chief Betcher is leading that up for us, which he's done in the past at a previous employer. So we should be able to start hitting the streets here probably by this time next month. We'll be out starting the inspection circuit.
Great.
So the not fun topic for the evening is ongoing maintenance issues with some of our apparatus. We'll start with engine 465. That is our primary engine. We were having a couple of kind of deferred things that seem to be getting worse and worse, primarily with the vehicle shifting into pump. It seemed like it was shifting in pump. The lights would come on like it was shifting into pump, but when they went to actually charge hand lines and stuff, it wasn't actually in pump. So we had it up at one of the Pierce authorized dealers. They replaced some of the stuff to actually make sure it was getting into pump, and then we found some more problems after it got back. Them fixing it didn't make it worse, but it kind of illuminated some other deferred maintenance issues there. So it is currently down at Interstate Diesel for some transmission evaluation. We haven't heard exactly what they're finding. They think there's probably an issue with the counter rotation, but we're not exactly sure. So we don't have a timeline for its return. In the meantime, engine 464 will be our primary, which is our kind of current reserve apparatus, will be in the primary position. So the truck 460 also went up to Rennert's for some deferred maintenance. These are things that we knew had been an issue for more than a year, but we're getting to the point where if we didn't do something soon, something significantly worse could have happened. So bit the bullet here and sent that up for ladder repairs. They were actually able to fix pretty much everything that was going on. So we are confident that it will be able to pass ladder testing without any significant additional repairs, at least to the aerial apparatus. And then the boat, I think anybody that owns a boat probably won't be surprised by the next couple of minutes of talking. So last year we had some issues with Marine 469, which is our large boat that lives in the marina. We had some power issues and just strange things happen. A couple of them occurred when we were going out on calls. We lost the port motor on one of them and couldn't reproduce it, and then it would happen again, and just kind of back and forth with things. We took it to Cedar Lake. They initially thought that it potentially was a starter, so they replaced the starter. It came back, still had some issues. They found something else, still had some issues after that. We're assured that things were in working order, but then went to put it in the water this at the beginning of the season here, and found some other issues going on and actually couldn't get things started. We took it back over there for evaluation. They tore a whole bunch of stuff apart and found that water had seeped into the battery cables, something they hadn't seen before. And that might have been the death nail for the season for us, because they couldn't get it on the schedule until probably the end of the season or next winter because of the complexity of the repair that it would require. Luckily, through calling around and some folks taking pity on us, I think it was M&W Marine in Franklin, who takes care of Milwaukee Fire Department's boat, really stepped up and helped us and got it on the schedule. They replaced essentially all of the battery cables and associated wiring from stem to stern to get things back in working out order. So luckily, it is back in the harbor and seems to be working as we would expect it to. As a plus, we were actually able to get the onboard radio that has been problematic since day one working. So on top of that, when I talked to the service tech from M&W, again, they had never seen something like this, and were quite surprised that because where the battery cables run is near the fuel, that we didn't have a significant fire or something happen with it, which would have been ironic that the fire boat is the one that takes down the marina. But it's back, it's working, everything seems tip-top on that, so we should be good for a while. And next on the agenda.
Just one more question on that,
yes.
Chief. So those type of repairs, what did you come up with for a total of your budget hit this year?
So we are getting close to exceeding our allotted maintenance budget for the year. So I've been working with the folks at City Hall to keep them abreast of the situation. I mean, they've been quite understanding. You can't plan for maintenance. You can't plan for, bad things to happen to your apparatus. So we're trying to be as frugal on things, but we also don't want to get ourselves into the same position that we were trying to catch up on large projects because we keep deferring it. So sometimes we have to bite the bullet a little bit in a smart way. So we've been in conversation with the finance director and the city administrator about some of the overages. We do have pump testing left to do this year, and then we're just going to cross our fingers really, really hard that nothing else breaks.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So just an update on capital projects for 2025. As you'll recall, our command vehicle was slated to be replaced 2 years ago, but we were not allocated the actual vehicle from General Motors. We did get that this year. So it's sitting in the lot waiting for upfitting. We've been told that that'll go in the week of the 23rd. So we're excited to get that in service. The old 456 was put on Wisconsin surplus. The auction closed on the 4th, and the winning bid was $10,075, which good for them. So we have a couple of things to do. We left the lighting package and the graphics on it until we know who the final bidder was, because if it was going to a fire department, we were going to leave those things on there. It was sold to a private citizen in Wabeno, I believe. So we have to get the graphics and the lighting package off of that vehicle before they can accept delivery of that. Also this year, we are slated for a new brush truck to replace our 1992 GMC. We have the chassis and the service body for it on order. Again, just like anything else, delays as far as, getting things ordered and installed, so on and so forth. They will actually be shipping the chassis to Pennsylvania, where the service body is maintained or is built. They'll put it on there for us and then send it back. We looked at a couple of different options. This far and away is the best service body for it. It's not custom for this, but it's pretty close to custom for what we want. And if I was going to draw one on a piece of paper, it's honestly almost exactly the same. We looked at potentially having the body installed locally, but the company that builds it, it's almost impossible to beat their installation price. So, I mean, we couldn't have done it ourselves for what they're charging. So, once we have the vehicle, it'll be going up to Rennert's, who will build the skid unit and the pump that actually goes in the back of it. We'll be doing a lot of the lights and the radio installation in-house. Deputy Chief Betcher is well accustomed to doing those things, so another benefit of having another great person on our full-time staff. So we'll be saving some of the installation costs there, so we're excited to get that done. Likely we won't have it finished until around the first of the year, though. It's just the lead time for the service body and the chassis pushes us out that far. Plus, then they have to custom build the skid and all that kind of stuff. So we hope to see it at the end of the year. And then after that, the old brush truck will follow 456 to the Wisconsin surplus auction, which likely will make a lot more money. Those old pickup trucks clear quite a bit. So
It's a classic.
yeah, it's a classic and not a ton of miles on there. So, the other two projects we have, I'll just touch on quickly. So, computer-aided dispatch was something that we've been working towards for quite a while. We wanted to beta test things to figure out what type of hardware, as far as like a computer or an iPad or whatever options we had. So we wanted to work through that process, make sure everything was working properly, also from a software standpoint. So I'm actually beta testing that right now. The current 455 has the tablet installed in it, so we've been using that, working with the county to try to get through all of the bugs and issues that we've had, which have been a fair number, but kind of things to be expected. So once we're confident that we have it set up the way we want it, we'll start rolling them out into the ambulances, the intercept vehicle, eventually into the engines. But hopefully we'll have that also done by the end of the year. So, and then the last one, we have some allocated funds for turnout gear. We outfitted our full-time staff with that, and there's not too much to report from that. It's just the normal things that those guys need to do their jobs properly. The last thing I think on the list is an update on the public safety building. I don't know if you guys have driven out to the site lately, but they're making quite a bit of headway. We had groundbreaking in early May. I'm sure everybody saw the article in the Ozaki Press, the one where I had like the kid-size construction helmet on. Yeah. So I did I've been trying to get the drone up over the site once a week, just to kind of keep an eye on the progress. If anybody wants to see the pictures, I can certainly pull them up. Otherwise, you can come check them out here. But I know I've been rambling for a bit, so if you guys just want to hop over and take a look, I've got them. So, but the footings they've graded the entire site. They're starting to pour the footings. It looked like they started to at least gravel over where the approach is as well. So things are moving. I think we're at the no take back stage. So we're pretty excited about that. So. Yep. Yeah, I just saw that this morning driving in. So, yeah, we're really excited. You know, on the back end, we're continuing to kind of refine a couple of things that were on our kind of punch list, finishing up the furniture plans and those type of things. But we're getting pretty close. So,
We're looking forward to it.
absolutely.
Okay, anything else you need to report?
That's all I have. You guys have any questions of me?
Okay, hearing none. So last item on the agenda is other business, and I have no further business other than to note our next meeting will be Monday, July 14th. And with that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn the meeting. All right. Second, all right. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.